Good morning mga katribu. It's Wednesday, December 27. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk, where we discuss current issues that matter to each of us. This is Gigi Arcilia.
Hi, good morning mga katribu. I'm Chito Lozada. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
In this morning's episode, we are joined. Ito, timing na papanahon ang ating guest, Chito.
Of course,
Dahil sa dami ng
Maraming
biyahero,
pumapa-
papasok at
mga
palabas.
balikbayan.
Yes. At yung mga nagbabakasyon siya, syempre
Nagbabakasyon.
paalis. We are joined by the spokesperson of the Bureau of Immigration, Miss Dana Krisha Sandoval. Good
Morning,
morning,
Dana.
ma'am.
Good morning po. Thank you po, ma'am and sir, for having me here in your show para po mag-guest and share updates po about travel and the Bureau of Immigration.
Yeah.
Okay. Ayun.
That would be our
Yeah.
program na.
So, ito, tatanungin ko lang. In the recent months kasi, nagkaroon ng problema. Punong-puno ang social media about, mga issues ng offloading ng ating mga kababayan. So, ano ba ang talagang nangyari doon? I mean, ang question dyan ng mga kababayan the questions that that have been raised is, bakit kailangan patagalin? Sa una pa lang, first few minutes, o may dokumento na sabihan na lang na sorry, hindi ka makakaalis para hindi pa madagdagan yung anxiety ng pasahero.
It's true, Ma'am Gigi. I think isa talaga yan sa mga naging concerns ng social media nitong mga nakaraang buwan is that were a lot of people, particularly yung mga first-time passengers, that were having siguro concerns na baka ma-offload sila, baka hindi sila mapayagan. Pero ito pong ating ginagawa sa mga paliparan is really part of the mandate of the Bureau of Immigration as part of the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. Siguro maganda lang po na ma-assure yung mga kababayan po natin that if they are traveling po just for holidays, just ngayon, lalo po ngayong Kapaskuhan, mamamasyal po lamang, wala pong ibang gagawin, is wala po silang kailangang ikabahala. Ang mga siguro tina-target po ng ating immigration officers doon po sa mga paliparan ay yung mga victims of human trafficking and illegal recruitment na hanggang ngayon po ay tuloy-tuloy pa rin po, napakarami pa rin po ang mga nag-a-attempt na dumadaan sa atin po mga paliparan ng mga biktima po na naloko po ng ilang mga unscrupulous siguro nating matatawag na mga kababayan po natin na nag-aalok ng magagandang job offers abroad. Particularly ngayon po, meron sa Southeast Asian region ng mga magagandang offers on call centers that are really just scam hubs, that are really just yung mga scamming companies. So, yun po ay hanggang ngayon tuloy-tuloy po nating nakikita. So, yun po ang talagang pinupuntirya siguro or tina-target ng ating immigration officers. But for those na mga regular tourists po, wala pong kailangang ikabahala.
Pero ang tanong dun, Chito, kung it's part of, the mandate of BI, bakit meron pa mga hinihingi na mga yearbook photos, kasal, at kung ano-ano pa? Is this really part? Parang for many, it seems outrageous.
It's true. Yearbook po is not part of it. Ang tinitingnan po natin really, in an immigration officer's perspective po, ang tinitingnan sa isang passenger are three things. Yung kanya pong documents, yung kanya pong statements, and yung kanyang demeanor. Tinitingnan po kung magkakatugma itong tatlong ito. Halimbawa po, ang sabi ng passenger, ang pupuntahan ko po sa Singapore, halimbawa, ay kapatid ko. But when we checked our records, wala pong ganong taong nag-e-exist. So, yun po, kapag may hindi nagtugma doon sa tatlong yon, yun po yung tinatawag natin na red flag. And dahil po may red flag, there's additional po questions ng ating mga immigration officers to clarify kung ano po ba yung purpose of travel. And in most cases po, kapag nakitaan po ng mga ganito, na nagsinungaling, missing or merong hindi tugma sa kanilang dokumento, ito po ay madalas po ay biktima po ng human trafficking and illegal recruitment. Ang usual system po kasi niyan, yung mga recruiters po nila, inaabot lang po ang kanilang dokumento sa kanila dun sa mga biktima sa labas ng airport bago po pumasok, bago mag-check-in. So they really do not have time to review or study or memorize the documents or the story that was given to them by their recruiter. Kaya pagpasok po nila sa immigration area, when they are asked very basic questions like, gaano ka katagal doon?
Tataranta na.
Hindi na po alam kung ano yung tamang sagot because that's really not their purpose of travel. It's something else, but iyon po ang binigay sa kanila ng kanilang recruiter.
Doon sa immigration desk mismo.
Yes po. Ang binibigay po sa kanila sa recruiter,
Sa labas.
ang nakita po natin sa mga fast food chains outside the airport, bago po sila pumasok at mag-check-in, doon po nag-aabutan ng papeles.
Yung mga stamp ba, ano yan, secured? Kasi may mga nagsabi na pwedeng i-stamp sa labas ng immigration desk yung nangyayari pa rin ba to?
Yung ating stamp, Sir Chito, is security ink yan. So, makikita kung legitimate o hindi. Meron po tayong naririnig ng mga ganyan, na mga nag-i-stamp po. May mga na-intercept na po ang ating mga immigration officers sa paliparan ng mga fake na stamps na sa labas tinatakan. Papasok po sa loob, kunwari, ay, lumabas lang ako. Ito na po, natatakan na po ako.
So fake
But when
yun.
chinek ng ating immigration personnel, we do have our forensic documents laboratory with equipment po from Australia na nakikita po yung authenticity ng mga documents. So when dinaan po sa equipment po natin, nakita na hindi totoo yung pantatak na ginagamit dahil meron po mga security features yan. So we have intercepted a lot already po ng mga fake stamps, mga fake stamps po na ginagamit dun sa passport po nila ng mga illegal recruiters din po.
So,
Fake pa ba?
ano yung naging measures ng immigration para mawala? I mean, have you arrested the mastermind, the group that is behind this, fake stamps?
Probably sindikato.
Kasi kung na-check nyo lang, na-intercept nyo, I mean, nandun pa din yung source.
We really think it's a big syndicate. Ang problema nga po niyan, yung mga peke nandyan, pero meron din po mga authentic. Isa po yan sa mga nakita po natin in the past few months that there are travelers and particularly illegal aliens who were carrying original documents, original passport, birth certificate. They have IDs, Philippine-issued IDs that are original and authentic.
Original.
Yeah,
Pero,
yung mga national ID, meron na
yes,
bigyan.
pero hindi sila
Nauna pa
yun. Hindi sila yun. So, yun po ang inaano natin. What we are doing po is we forward it to the Interagency Council Against Trafficking for the Filipinos, kung may mga kababayan po tayo na nahulihan ng mga ganito pong uri ng dokumento. Kasi sa Bureau po, wala po kaming arresting powers. That's not part of our mandate. But it's the part po of the IACAT to do the investigation. Marami po kasing government agencies under IACAT. So there's DOJ who does the prosecution. There's NBI and PNP po na hinuhuli naman yung mga recruiters and traffickers. NBI din po nag-iimbestiga naman for the foreign nationals who have the original documents and are presenting it to immigration. So, ano po yan? Isang parang interagency po yan. Kami po at the borders and they are at the after po, on the prosecution side. And we're really thankful po kasi ngayon po may mga nahuhuli po talaga ng mga recruiter at nakakasuhan po. Aggressive po ngayon ng IACAT, masasabi po natin, under the Department of Justice. So, hinuhuli po talaga at kinakasuhan ang mga illegal recruiters. There was one particular case po ng illegal recruiter. She previously went viral on social media.
Yeah.
Ito pong individual na ito na nagrereklamo kung bakit ganito yung processing ng immigration, bakit may mga karagdagang tanong, only to find out po na siya po pala ay nagre-recruit ng mga kababaihan po abroad para magtrabaho po as entertainers without the proper documentation. So, siya po ay nahuli at naaresto at sa kasalukuyan po ay nakakulong at humaharap po ng kaso under the Department of Justice.
Ito bang mga ito last question ko about this topic. Ito bang mga na-offload? Do you tell them na, I mean, you're a victim of trafficking? Sinasabihan ba sila? Kasi merong ibang na-offload, kukuha ulit ng ticket and then try again. I mean, they spend, for another plane ticket and hoping na or sinasabihan ba sila?
That's part po nung ating trabaho na sabihan po ng maayos yung passenger na ano po ang kailangan dokumento kung nais magtrabaho abroad, paano i-secure ang tamang dokumento. But sometimes po hindi natin maalis dun sa ilan nating kababayan na siguro risking it all, masasabi natin, to be able to seek greener pastures abroad. But yun po yung constant na paalala natin sa mga kababayan po natin na aspiring OFWs, pwede naman pong magtrabaho abroad. But let's do it the legal way. Doon po tayo sa legal na paraan para po hindi po tayo maging vulnerable. Kasi yung vulnerability po nila kapag sila po ay nakaalis halimbawa ng improperly documented, turista pong magtatrabaho abroad. Hindi po sila maka-seek ng tulong, hindi po sila makahingi ng tulong kung sakaling maka-encounter po sila ng problema sa government kung saan na sila dahil improperly documented po sila. May mga cases po na hindi sila makahingi ng rescue kasi sila po ay technically in the country po na pinuntahan nila, illegal aliens. Yung reason po na repatriations, there were 2 women who worked as entertainers in Malaysia. Pinilit po sila na sumabak sa prostitusyon. Wala po silang magawa dahil sila po hawak po ng kanilang recruiter ang kanilang pasaporte. Hindi po sila pinapasweldo ng tama, hindi po sila pinapakain ng tama. And they were very vulnerable dahil takot po sila dahil in their mind, I am an illegal alien here in this country. Kaya yun po ang gusto natin din na i-remind at iparating po sa mga kababayan natin na wag na pong sumubok ng paulit-ulit ng illegal ang pamamaraan. We can work, wala pong problema yon basta po proper ang ating channels. We go through the Department of Migrant Workers to protect also ang ating mga sarili.
On the other hand, yung mga papasok na mga foreign na illegal aliens.
Ayun, oo. Tama, Chito.
Anong mga assurances na hindi nakakapasok?
Yun nga, ang tanong doon, mga may record na sa kanilang bansa. Bakit nakakapasok pa ng Pilipinas? When in fact, doon pa lang sa immigration, when they come in, dapat doon pa lang nafa-flag na ito, fugitive to galing sa ganitong bansa. Why are they still able to
Mm.
come in at maka-blend pa with the people and then naghahanap ng mga bibiktimahin.
Cut po muna tayo na may technical difficulties lang.
Internet.
Yari.
Internet.
Are we on?
Tama. Alright, we're back, Chito. Ma'am, we're back. We just had,
we had
some technical
difficulties.
glitches. So, balikan natin yung tanong natin kay Ma'am Dana. So, this is a question about illegal aliens, coming in, na bakit hindi sila nai-intercept doon pa lang sa immigration, papasok. Bakit kailangan pa nilang makapasok ng bansa, and then later on, tsaka pa lang sila hahanapin at i-deport. I mean, nandun yung risk of, makapag may mabiktima pa. And then, bakit ganun? Bakit, ano ba yung naging problema ng immigration? Why is it na hindi doon mismo sa immigration yung interception?
Tsaka mas tedious yung process, hahanapin nyo pa yung kung nakakalusot.
Yes, Ma'am Gigi, Sir Chito. It's really difficult po sa ating mga immigration personnel na maghanap. At ang laki ng logistics noon na maghagilap po ng isang foreign national na kinoconsider natin as a fugitive from justice. But the problem po, ang nakikita natin na problema is we are informed of their government na ito pong individual na ito ay isang fugitive kapag nandito na po sa bansa natin. So usually po, pagpasok po nila, they have all the complete documentation and they do not have a derogatory record yet sa atin pong system, sa atin pong database. So they are able to enter freely. May 157 countries po na pwedeng pumasok sa Pilipinas nang hindi kinakailangan ng visa-free. So usually po yan, yung mga individual po na yun ang yung mga fugitives po from those countries ang nakakapasok po sa bansa. And we are informed only by their government kapag nandito na po sila sa bansa. That's why yung reason po ng mga pagpupulong po ni Commissioner Tansinko with foreign governments, particularly po, I think ang nakausap niya is Korea already, if I'm not mistaken, also Japan, is to request data sharing na ma-inform po tayo agad if there are fugitives from justice who have plans at least of coming to the Philippines or they are possibly going to the country para na ilalagay na po natin sila sa system. And it will save us a lot of time, a lot of manpower, gastusin po in investigating and locating these individuals. By putting them already in the system, para sa airport pa lang po, pagdating po nila, mahaharang na po sila. But ngayon po, meron talaga tayong centralized database for all other naman na mga derogatory record and for the foreign nationals naman na nai-inform tayo na sila po ay may fugitives ng kanilang bansa. We do have our centralized database po which can be accessed by all immigration officers po all over the Philippines, whether kung dumating po yung individual na yan sa paliparan o kaya po sa barko, makikita po ng ating mga immigration officer if this person has a derogatory record. And yung atin pong system nakakonect din po sa Interpol database. So if there are wanted individuals by the Interpol, madidetect din po yan ng ating mga immigration officers.
So does that mean that, wala na makakapasok ng mga fugitives or mga wanted persons?
It's not a foolproof plan. I mean, admittedly, it's not a foolproof plan dahil sa atin po, we rely on the information that is in the database. But yun nga po, if the information is not yet given by the government na pinanggalingan yung originating government, hindi pa nila sinasabi na, uy, ito, wanted namin to, at nakapasok po sila, doon po papasok yung aming fugitive search unit. We have a dedicated unit po na humahanap at tumutugis po doon sa mga wanted fugitives that are already inside the country at na-inform po tayo na sila po ay mga pugante kapag nandito na po sila sa loob ng bansa.
So, ibig sabihin, ma'am, sa mga out of the, sabi mo nga, 157 countries, ang visa-free. I mean, they can come to the Philippines.
Dami pala.
Dami pala, 157. So, ibig sabihin, may mga problema din pagdating sa pag-update ng mga data sa database ng mga bansa na to.
Well, kanya-kanya po siguro yung mga bansa nang gustong i-share at ayaw i-share sa iba pong mga bansa. But like for most countries naman po, we do subscribe to the Interpol database. So meron po silang mga nilalagay sa Interpol database. But I guess they don't put everything there already. So yun nga po ang request natin, particularly po sa mga bansa na marami pong pugante that are going here, is that they inform us prior to the arrival po nung fugitive na iyon para po napipigilan na at the airports pa lamang.
Eh, yung mga pugante na Pilipino na lumalabas, marami rin cases na gano'n eh. Nakalusot.
Yes po, sa atin po, we rely on the court cases issued po by the courts. Kapag ka ang korte po ay nag-issue ng whole departure order or halimbawa,
HDO.
yes, warrant of arrest din po, pinapadala po sa atin ng korte. Nilalagay po natin din yan sa ating database. Without a court order po from the courts na whole departure order o kaya po warrant of arrest, we will be unable to stop this individual from going out of the country. Halimbawa po, siya po ay naririnig natin na related sa isang big-time case or something. But there are cases po na ini-issuehan ng Immigration Lookout Bulletin. That's an entirely different animal naman po. The Immigration Lookout Bulletin po is also issued po by the Department of Justice naman, instructing the Bureau of Immigration to closely monitor the travel of an individual. Ito po usually ay ini-issue kapag halimbawa may big high-profile case na wala pa pong naifa-file sa korte na kaso or nasa preliminaries pa lang po ng pagfa-file sa korte. The Immigration Lookout Bulletin po is not a stop sign but more of an orange sign, parang be careful in processing this individual. What the immigration officers are required to do is to call all related agencies like the courts, the NBI, the Department of Justice to confirm baka po may freshly issued na warrant of arrest or whole departure order, because this is a high profile case and siguro yung time element is really important. So our immigration officers would call all the list of agencies related to the case, and kung meron pong freshly issued warrant or freshly issued whole departure order, then we implement that po. Otherwise po, kung wala pong warrant, pwede pong umalis. But we get all the full details po for forwarding to the Department of Justice. Kasama po yan dun sa kanilang investigations.
So, yan yung lookout order.
Yun po yung difference ng lookout.
Tsaka HDO.
So, tanungin natin si Ma'am Dana Chito about how many foreigners are arriving. I mean, on the average.
On the average.
On the average, monthly basis.
Ngayon po, siguro, nasa mga 400 to 500,000 na po yung dumadating ngayon sa bansa ngayong post-pandemic period. It's very near our pre-pandemic figures. I think it's around 600 to 700,000 a month prior to the pandemic. Ngayon, malapit-lapit na po yung ating average and yung ating daily arrivals. As compared to the last few years, yung last few years natin, parang nasa 100,000, very small number. There was even a time that it was less than 100,000 nung kasagsagan po ng pandemic. So ngayon, I think it's a good thing, I guess, for international tourism na nakikita po natin yung muling pagbisita ng mga foreign nationals po sa ating bansa.
Okay. So,
good
balikan
sign
natin si Ma'am Dana about,
Yeah.
itong mga nakadetain naman ng mga aliens sa ating mga detention facilities na immigration. But,
Adequate yung
yeah,
yun.
we'll have her answer when we come back after a short break.
See you.
This break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you. A wellness show dedicated to empowering viewers with the knowledge and inspiration needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. Be Well Now, hosted by Miss Cory Crino
every Wednesday at 2 p.m. only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Alamin ang pinakamaiinit na balita at mahalagang issue na bumabalot ngayon sa ating bansa. Ating pag-usapan, blow by blow, dito lang sa Hot Patatas, kasama sila Chicky Mangkukang, Vernon Velasco at Gio Leaño. Yung Lunes, Miyerkules at Biyernes, alas 3 ng hapon, dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Conversations that are masterclasses from the top honchos of various industries. Learn from their strategies and insights so you yourself can unlock your full potential. Perfect every Friday at 2 p.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube. Creative minds, entertainment icons, style influencers. We shine the spotlight on remarkable individuals who shape our cultural landscape. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. only here in Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Yes, you're still watching Straight Talk with the spokesperson of the Bureau of Immigration, Ms. Dana Sandoval. Ms. Ma'am Dana, yung tanong ko is, ilan ba ang mga foreigners na nakadetain sa mga facilities na immigration ngayon?
Yeah.
Well, admittedly po, talagang it's a challenge already for the Bureau of Immigration because our detention center already holds more than 300 foreign nationals when its capacity po is just for more than 100. So medyo challenge na po talaga for us in housing siguro these foreign nationals who have violated immigration laws, but we're looking into procuring new lands para po ma-expand po natin ang detention center. So that's part po of our medium and long term projects. Kasi po, nakikita natin habang tumataas po yung bilang ng bumabiyahe, papasok po ng bansa, taon-taon po tumataas yan exponentially. I guess it also comes na tumataas din po yung number of violators dito. So, tataas din po yung bilang ng ating mga hinuhuli at nilalagak po sa detention center.
Ano yung mga kaso ng mga nakakulong ngayon?
The usual cases.
The usual cases po niyan ay undesirability and overstaying. Yan po yung madalas na mga kaso ng mga nakapiit po sa ating detention center. But the thing is, this was already publicized po by the Department of Justice. One major challenge po na i-encounter natin, kaya hindi agad mapadeport yung ilan po sa mga ito, is kinakasuhan po nila yung kanilang mga sarili.
Yung
Yes.
So this
the
is
one that you mentioned na suming.
The Demand-a-Me scheme.
Demand-a-Me.
So they would file cases against themselves. One popular case po was yung isang Japanese fugitive.
Si Luffy.
Si Luffy, kinasuhan po ng Pilipina na kanyang partner, I think, ng Vauci. Pero araw-araw dinadalaw po at dinadalhan yung pagkain. So obviously,
yung
this is
nag-file
not,
ng kaso.
yes, obviously this is just a frivolous case against the individual dahil ayaw niya pong mapadeport siya at harapin yung kaso niya doon po sa kanyang bansang pinanggalingan. So with the help of the Department of Justice, ang nilalakad po ngayon ay ma-resolba na yung mga kaso ng mga frivolous cases na ganyan. At actually, we're really thankful po to the Department of Justice kasi nagpadala din po sila ng warning doon po sa mga abogado kasi marami pong kaso na yan na iisa ang abogado ng ilan sa mga detainees. Parang naging negosyo na po. Naging negosyo na kakasuhan ko kayo kayo lang din na nagkasa sa inyo mag-imbento ng kaso. Ninegosyo na po ng ilang mga lawyers. So nag-warning po ang Department of Justice that it will initiate the disbarment of lawyers that are engaged in such practices. So we're really thankful for that kasi medyo siguro nabawasan yung tinik natin. And it would really significantly help na magluwag po yung ating detention center at mapadeport na finally yung mga overstaying na rin sa detention center po na.
Nag-overstay na sa bansa. Overstaying pa sa kulungan.
Sa kulungan.
Yeah.
Yung mga cases na ini-escort daw out of the country ng mga immigration officer mismo.
Yun po,
Okay.
It's really siguro something that the commissioner is looking into and making sure na mawala yung opportunities kasi hindi sila yung mga loko-loko hindi makakagawa ng kalokohan kung walang opportunity ng paggawa ng kalokohan. So yung atin pong monitoring system are already put in place. Yung atin pong mga airports ay tinadtad po ng CCTV. Nag-procure po tayo for this year ng body-worn cameras for our secondary inspectors. Two-way po yan para makita kung may kalokohan at para din naman po protection din kung sakaling may mga complaints na unwarranted naman po against the individual. So, meron din po tayong secondary inspectors doon that monitors that, yung mga escorting. And meron din po tayong border control and intelligence unit na yun naman po yung rumuronda upang tingnan kung meron po mga ganito. So, marami pong may third party, may fourth party pa po na tumitingin para may checks and balance, I guess, na masasabi natin doon po sa ating mga paliparan.
So, does it mean that nalinis na yung corruption?
Siguro masasabi natin nililinis ang
Nililinis.
corruption because in any agency maybe it's really hard to totally eliminate it, but we are putting things in place to make it very, very, very hard for them to do something like that. Ang policy po ni Commissioner Tansinko is one-strike policy. So, pag may narinig po na balita, report about an employee natin na gumagawa po ng kalokohan, immediately take out doon sa ating paliparan, garahe agad, investigate, and file case against him.
So, wala nang gwardiya na yayam? No?
Wala na po.
Naalala mo yung gwardiya na yumaman?
Wala po. Wala na po mga ganyan.
How about,
Sports card.
how about the Pastillas scam?
Well, yung mga involved po, yung mga nakasuhan po doon have been dismissed from service already. And we are we are automating a lot of things sa atin po mga paliparan para yung opportunities for corruption ay mawala.
And connected to that, there is an Asian Development Bank program, di ba? Regarding integrity to help BI to
Yes.
to improve.
Yung ating mga frontliners po nag-take ng isang course under through the ADB po, the Asian Development Bank, on the integrity para po talagang makatulong on how to be able to contribute dun sa government agency natin, yung ng malinis ang ating government agency. It's an integrity course, pinapaalala sa kanila kung ano yung mga kinakailangang gawin natin, ano yung mga do's and don'ts, ano yung role natin as public servants because sometimes people forget. And kailangan po i-remind ito constantly. At the same time po, yung ating mga frontliners, ngayon po bago i-deploy, before po kasi usually theoretical lang yung inaaral nila sa Philippine Immigration Academy. Meron po kaming academy in Clark, Pampanga for parang police academy, but it's for our immigration officers prior to deployment. Before po, ang inaaral po nila is the theoretical, yung batas, ano po yung mga polisiya natin. Usually, yun lang po naka-focus yung curriculum nila. But ngayon po, it has been revised following po yung maraming concerns po na na-encounter natin itong mga nakaraang taon. Naglagay na rin po dyan ng soft skills trainings, yung proper communication, integrity management, yung mga ganun pong courses to remind them of their role as public servants and of course to also equip them with the proper capacities on how to deal with people. Yung paano po makipag-usap sa tao. Kasi minsan, nakakatanggap po tayo dati ng mga reklamo na masungit, may mga tanong na wala sa hulog, sabi nila, wala sa tamang
picture.
Oo. So, yun po ang iniiwasan natin. And we go back to the roots. So, doon tayo sa trainings pa lang nila. instead of just correcting the problem, we try to go back to the roots and train them simula pa lang bago po i-deploy.
Do you think it's enough, ma'am? I mean, this training, I mean, for immigration officers not to be tempted by, by money ng mga, do you think this is enough?
I think the temptation will always be there. But sa atin, ang gusto natin, maalis yung opportunities. And ma-remind sila of their role as public servants. So, kumbaga, we attack in different fronts. We attack dun sa training side for them as individuals to be reminded of their duties, of their roles as public servants, as Filipinos actually, and protectors of our borders. We also attack at the front. Doon naman po sa ating system itself, by putting layers of checks and balances, by automating things to remove opportunities. So, aalisin po natin yung opportunities sa harapan at i-empower natin sila po sa likuran. So, we're really hoping that these efforts at the very least minimize or eliminate or at least make them remember kung ano po sila at ano po yung trabaho nila as immigration officers.
Where do you usually get your immigration officers? Right from college, they can apply as an immigration officer, or is there a school or institution na po-provide ng mga immigration officers?
Right from college po, they can apply as long as they have, they are civil service eligible. So, meron po silang professional eligibility with the civil service or cum laude po and, or may PRC kasi exempted na po yan from eligibility. So, graduate of any 4-year course, may civil service eligibility, they can apply po. I-plug ko na rin yung aming careers portal. It's careers.immigration.gov.ph.
Naghahanap kayo
Yes. Ulitin ko, careers.immigration.gov.ph. They can apply there. They can check all the job postings po doon. I think for next year, meron na namang bagong batch of immigration officers.
Like how many?
Iba-iba po but siguro kasi pag may batch na magre-retire, may bagong mga mag-open. So, ang last namin was 55 immigration officers.
Anong salary grade ng entry level for immigration officers?
Salary grade 11, yun pong ating immigration officers.
Is that high? Salary grade 11.
Hindi nasa nasa 20.
Mid-range, yes. Mid-range po.
20.
Yung salary grade 11. So, yan po ay dinedeploy natin sa front lines immediately kapag na-hire.
I see.
But then they have to undergo that academy training in Clark.
Yes, may exam
How long
po.
is that?
It would depend po, but the usual trainings is 6 months. Pero kapag
6 months
ngayon pong
din.
mga peak season, ang ginagawa po is shortened training, like 3 weeks to 2 months po ang trainings. And then may may added trainings na lang after deployment.
Refresher course.
Kasi kailangan po na ma-deploy na, particularly ngayong holiday season.
So,
Hindi natin natanong, ito balikan ko lang kanina na, ano ba usually mga kaso ng mga nakadetain sa facilities ng BI?
Sa facilities po natin, for the immigration cases po nila, marami po yan overstaying, undesirable aliens. Pero yung mga kaso po na kinakaso sa kanila ng outside, marami po vowsy, estafa, yun po yung mga under the demand-dummy scheme. Yun po ang ikinakaso sa kanila kasi ito po yung they can just make it up by
Drugs. How about drugs?
Sa drugs po, not so much on the drugs, but we do have interceptions po sa paliparan as part of the NAIA Interagency Drug Interdiction Group. Ito po yung grupo that monitors yung mga foreign nationals that are trying to come here to the Philippines na nagbibitbit po ng droga. But ang cases po nila is usually with criminal case on bringing in illegal drugs here in the Philippines.
Pero the same facility lang sila
No po,
nakadetain?
it's a different facility po. So, sa kapulisan na po ang nagkakaso sa kanila.
drugs na yan.
Alright. So, yung mga nandito pala sa Bikutan are, not Hindi yung mga
Yes.
cases
Administrative
and
po,
Mga
more on the immigration
administrative,
cases.
oo.
Alright. How about
Pwedeng i-deport.
trafficking?
Trafficking po for foreign nationals,
pedophilia.
yes. But pedophiles po, ang goal natin is hindi na sila makapasok at all. So, we have Angel Watch with the US government and also data sharing with other foreign governments po. Bukod dun yung Interpol pa natin, they send us prior information kapag may mga registered sex offenders who are trying to enter the Philippines or who are planning to enter the Philippines through their investigations. And we prevent them from entering already.
Okay. So,
That's good.
Chito,
So, can we have your parting words, ma'am? Ms. Dana.
Yes, Ma'am Gigi, Sir Chito, maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita sa akin dito po sa inyong programa. It's really a good opportunity po to share updates about the Bureau of Immigration, particularly ngayon pong holiday season. So maraming salamat po and makakaasa po kayo na lalo po sa mga susunod na linggo dahil marami pong babiyahe. Our immigration officers are fully manned at tayo po ay tuloy-tuloy po yung pagsiservisyo natin 24/7 lalong-lalo po sa mga airports and seaports po natin.
Sana magkaroon ng mas maraming immigration officer.
yeah. By the way, before we say goodbye to our viewers, ilan ba ang kailangan at this point? How many immigration officers are needed?
Marami pa po.
Like hundreds?
Marami pa po. Kasi ang lagi ko pong gino-joke dyan kapag tinatanong sa akin yan, we only have 3,000 personnel, 2,000 po doon ay plantilla, the 1,000 ay contractual po job order. And there are 7,100 plus islands in the Philippines. Depende pa po kung high tide o low tide. So, hindi pa po enough ang one immigration officer to one island of the Philippines. So,
Okay,
yun po ang gusto po sana natin is to maximize our manpower. But we are doing what we can po.
Pero available yung plantilla.
I think we have almost maxed out our plantilla po, but
Okay.
constantly requesting po sa national
So,
government.
etong hina-hire nyo are
The old plantillas po, yung mga nag-retire na po.
okay. So, how many are they?
Ngayon, I don't have the figures po kung ilan yung but yung the last batch po was 55
Okay.
immigration officers.
All right. So,
Parang,
thank you so much, mga katribu, for having for your time in watching Straight Talk, and tune in again next week for another episode of
Straight
Straight
Talk.
Talk.
So I'm Chito Lozada. Watch Straight Talk live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube. See you next week.
Yes, and thank you, Ma'am Dana, spokesperson of the Bureau of Immigration.